is our town.
Welcome.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 200 of Value Town. I'm ChanmanV, and we're doing a special arena episode today because we haven't done one in a long time. We've had Dreads on like here and there, but it was always like talking about the expansions, you know, and what you think of the cards. But
yeah, I was having to hold down the arena end of it all on my own, you know.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's true.
I got you.
That's right. We got backup today. We've got EducatedCollins joining Dreads here as our guest. And Collins, this is his first time on the show, so welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank
welcome
you.
To the family.
For having me.
Welcome to the family, dude.
Nice to be here. So
yeah, awesome. So how what you guys been up to? You guys been doing anything cool today? Like I know you were just streaming, Collins. So thanks for the host, man. By the way, that's
no problem. We're practicing for the tournament. I'm sure that is going to come up for sure. But
yes,
making sure we perform and represent, because there are some constructed players out there, and you got to hold down the fort.
Oh man, you can't lose to constructed players. All right, like let's get real here. Like if you guys lose to constructed, I don't know, man. You might not be able to come on the show again. No, I'm just kidding.
I think that it's a very real chance a constructed player will win, just because.
You think so? Really?
But, yeah, I mean well, I'm sure we'll talk about it more later, but yeah, they're all good players. So if they learn, they have to put some time into learning the meta. Like,
yeah,
they won't be able to just jump in if they haven't played at all. But if they spend some time to see what's good, then I think there's a chance, definitely. Yeah, like maybe 2%, right? You're right, Dreads?
2%.
It's higher than that, but
2%.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the reality is that a lot of constructed players play arena too, like on the side, and so
or have in the past.
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. So maybe that's the case. But
yeah, so my day has been quite exciting. I did the classic trying to sell something on like Craigslist, and then they say they're going to be there, then they aren't there, and then their phone dies. Later,
classic.
Oh god, it's one of my things I hate the most. You have to do it for certain stuff, but it's like it's always like that. And then one time it'll be good, and you're like, oh yeah, this will be fine next time. So anyway, I did that. And the power in my building went down, and then
my god,
the internet wasn't back up when the power came back. So I was like, oh well, Value Town starts in like 20 minutes. This is good, but we're here now, so we made it.
That's a day in my life every single like Wednesday. So something crazy happens in the beginning of Wednesday to freak me out. That I'm not going to be doing the show.
I'm all about routine. So
yeah, me too.
Things get messed up in my routine, I lose it. I'm like, oh well. Now everything's I assume the worst. They're just going to get worse and worse and worse. But anyway, we made it. We're fine. We're here. It's good to be here. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. You must be happy. The Rams are doing well. So
Rams are crushing it. Everyone root for them this weekend. Okay, I don't want to see anyone pulling for other teams. At least not on my channel. Do another channels.
No, I think I'm rooting for the. Well, man. I like New Orleans too. I'm actually neutral. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I like the Saints. Saints are probably like my second or third favorite team, and I like Breeze. So I won't be too upset if they win, but I would like for the Rams to win, of course.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for the team that wins.
Yeah,
and if it's not the Rams, I'm going to your channel and I'm telling you, reminding you.
That's right. Rub it in. But no more, I guess, egg ball talk here. But of course, this show, if you haven't seen it before, Value Town, and we're celebrating our 200th episode today, and I can't believe it's been 200. Actually, we had this large break here.
And you do once a week, right?
Yeah, we do it once a week. So we've been doing it for a long time, but yeah, it's always cool.
It almost feels like my first.
It is your first. You're like the beginning of the next whatever half century or whatever it is, that sort of thing is going to be good. No, but today, guys, we're going to be covering obviously a bunch of arena meta, the latest changes and how it's affected meta, and just get the guys' thoughts on cards, just which ones have been good for this expansion and disappointing, and so on and so on. We'll cover some news too, of course. HCT is going on right now, playoffs. and some interesting matches and results from the EU playoffs that happened this past weekend. So we'll cover that a little bit. And then at the end, of course, we'll talk about any questions that you guys have. So we'll answer them. You guys can either save them on Twitch chat, or you can go ahead and tweet them to ValueTownGG, and we'll read them out. All right, so yeah, so I guess first things first, just kind of like our week in Hearthstone. I guess we talked a little bit about what you guys have been doing practicing. So I was watching HCT, and obviously one of the big topics, and it was a little bit of a topic going in, but it was a big topic after Viper did super well, right, and got through the whole thing. It was the Peanut Shaman, which was...
I think I saw your tweets. Peanut Shaman was trending on ChanmanV's Twitter. Let's just say that.
Yeah. I mean, come on. That is a great name, dude. Peanut
It is.
Shaman.
It's awesome. And I love when like, I don't watch a ton of Constructor, but when a deck that kind of comes out of nowhere and does well, it's great. It's a lot of fun. So I wasn't trying to give you crap for it. I did. It made me look and be like, okay, what is this Peanut Shaman thing?
Yeah. Well, it was easily the most unique thing. Collins, I don't know if you got a chance to see it or not. I think I just linked it to you and you saw it for the first time.
Yes, I've seen it 10 minutes ago, and then, wow, who is it? Spicy.
Spicy. What's amazing is he actually won with this thing, so it's legit in that fashion, or at least legit from the standpoint of event meta. And yeah, take a look at this. I just brought it up on screen, and yeah, there's a lot of fun, great synergy combos that are not to the face. Like there's not any spells here that hit
which
face.
I appreciate. This is the type of deck I would play. What? There's no burn?
There's no burn. There's literally no burn. I mean, unless you get it from Hagatha, right? Like, you can get like Lava Burst or like Lightning Bolt or something like that from Hagatha, but to begin with, no burst, and it's purely defensive, and you just start realizing how many synergies that this Shaman class generally has. Like, I think a lot of people tried to think of all the Zentimo things, right, and some Electra, even just like the last expansion. And one thing I totally missed was the Electra Reign of Toads combo that Viper broke out. I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah, I noticed Reign of Toads is in there. That's kind of surprises me a bit, but I guess that makes sense.
Dude, filling the board with 2/4s is pretty good.
It's really good if you play your Bloodlust Elway.
You can get it. You can still
I hate it. Seeing Kragwa and then not seeing Unstable Evolution makes me a little sad, though.
That's
just
true.
look at that card.
Well, you do get it sometimes with Hagatha, so you can.
I can see that.
I mean, you don't have any hand space for a ton of them, so maybe
I just had fun in Arena when I pulled off that combo.
Oh god, that is crazy.
Like, well, good luck,
I think I saw that video. No,
yeah.
No, but there's all kinds of goodies here, and what was amazing is he was winning with it, and what was really something that I observed during watching HCT is the amount of angst and pain like his opponents were going through, because they'd never seen, they never played against this deck before, so they had like no idea what to do. Like they were agonizing over every choice, and
no practice experience, probably a big deal.
Yeah. And that that's something that we never see, right? Like every single deck that we see, for the most part, outside of like maybe 2 cards or in the deck, they're archetypes that everybody knows. They played against on ladder, they've practiced against, and so you generally know what the right decisions are when you're at that level. But when you play a deck for the first time, I mean, there's so many mistakes that are made. And
this has got arena cards all over it. Lone
Champion. You guys would own with this deck, man. It'd be amazing. But yeah, so highly recommend playing this deck. I mean, just to name some of the plays, I think I named one of them. Electra, Reign of Toads is a good one. Kragwa is amazing for just getting, more hexes or more volcanoes. It just depends on what you play. Like if I play Warlock, I'm just getting hexes like over and over again. And you can Zola Kragwa too, and just get like another set of it. Elise is great, obviously, just for standard reasons. Kelisa, you can even Kelisa this stuff, which this deck is very, very minion heavy. So all these things are bigger than they normally are.
If nothing else, it looks fun to play.
Yeah, definitely. Super fun. And Shutterwalk's just another removal card. So yeah, try this out. It took me a while to finally get back to 50% win rate. but
yeah. People trying out
don't give up though.
Priest, right?
Which one?
The one turn kill combo priest, APM priest.
Yeah, that's
everyone with the terrible win rates on that.
I still got 20% on that one.
This deck looks so high ceiling. And the more I look at it,
it's really difficult to play. Yeah.
There's so many things I'm like, oh, you could do this, or you could do this, and I'm like, that is not obvious. So
just make it like EducatedCollins. You can do this.
Okay. Get to legend with this deck, dude. I will applaud you. Like playing it for the first time, that would be just amazing.
I could do it with any deck.
I know that's true. That's true. But this one is particularly different, right? So, but yeah, so it's good against aggro, tough against combo decks, but does well against control decks too, believe it or not, and does pretty well against Hunter. Like I thought it was like a terrible deck against Hunter, and then the more and more I played, I'm like, this ain't so bad with all the healing, and Build a Beast isn't always good, so it's amazing.
Is there a mic issue? Is it on my end?
Oh,
I'm hearing it too, actually.
Oh, is it? Is it me? Just a little craziness.
Right. A little like scratchiness.
Yeah.
Let me know when I'm back. Am I back? Hello.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're good now.
Yeah, sorry, my I've been having some weird USB issues lately.
Okay. No, it's good now. It sounds good.
Thanks for mentioning it.
Like, is it me?
Don't put up with it, guys. Just tell me if that ever happens. But yeah. So, anyways, try this out. Maybe we'll do a deck of the week with this, and you guys can tell me how what your win rates are. Just all the viewers and everybody listening too. But people listening, they probably don't even know what this deck is. It's Earth Shocks, Firefly, Kelset, Storm Surge, Oozes, Gluttonous Oozes, Haunting Visions, Healing Rain. There's a lone champion in it, which actually is a pretty good card in this deck, believe it or not. Stonehill Defender, Zentamo, Zola, Hex, Tide Surge, Dragon Maul, Scorcher, Elise Volcano, Ziliax, Kragwa, Rain of Toads, Hagatha, Primordial Drake, and Shudderwalk. So yeah, anyways. Check that out, and just to kind of like, I guess, talk about HCT, so grats to Viper, of course, Failey, and Bunny Hopper, and Thunder Up. Bunny Hopper another time. Oh, Bunny Hopper, I don't know if you guys caught that one, but Bunny Hopper knocked Casey out, which was just like, that's so
heard about it. Casey's on complexities, but I heard some about it. It was a 2-2, right? And then
he was up 2-0. Casey was up 2-0, and then Bunny Hopper ended up coming back, reverse sweeping them. But what's painful about it is they're playing partners, and Bunny Hopper's already into the world champs. Like he's already qualified for the world champs. So, Bunny Hopper, they asked him even in the interview, it's just like, how did you feel playing, or, whatever, like insinuating, like, were you thinking about maybe not throwing, but just maybe not just trying your absolute best, okay? Not your absolute best, because get your friend Casey in. And, Bunny was like, well, I felt like I had to be fair, and play my artist and whatnot, just Bunny Hopper's obviously a good guy that, just, he's always going to do that. And so, it was brutal for Casey, because Casey's been a good player for a long time. And he's one of those players who just haven't broken through yet. And his time will come, man. But
I watched a bit of it. I don't watch a ton of Constructed, but I did notice a lot of long matches, which can be good and bad. For me, I prefer a meta where it's a little bit shorter games.
Yeah.
I think it was Boston and
might
have been Viper. And I think Boston he's playing Odd Rogue and had a flappy stick on one turn, and I was like, I remember this card.
Yeah.
And it hit Wind Fury the first roll, and it was like, that's game. And I was like, that's not super fun and interactive, but at the same time, I'm okay with that after like the hour and a half game I just watched right before that. This is okay, a little bit change of pace. They took down Arena, if you remember that Chan.
I hated it.
Well, I wonder why they took it out of Arena. Oh my gosh! Obviously, it was probably getting Wind Fury or just hitting face many times.
You don't have a Frostbolt for that.
Exactly, you're done.
They rolled Wind Fury. Yeah, good times.
No, definitely. No, people don't know. They broke the record in terms of, there were 2 matches that broke the record in terms of longest games.
How long
in the same series?
How much in time are we talking about?
It was at least an hour. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, no thanks.
I know.
I played 20-minute Arena game and I'm losing my mind. So
really, that's my natural. Like, let's go.
20 minutes. Wait, playing long.
Collins likes playing the control the control.
You're just trying to get them to concede, to be real,
Yes,
right? Like
that's
you know, people on their phones and just like, oh, this sucks, like roping everything. This is not why I play like Arena, right?
He doesn't want to kill them. He just wants them to go bottom
Concede.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
What? No, I try to kill them, you know, but it's like a boa constrictor, you know. It's a slow suffocation of all of your minions and cards.
Nice. Okay, I like it. I can respect that. It's good to have a style.
Yeah.
But yes, I guess closing out the event, another brutal thing, not just Casey, but Seiko and Fino, and this isn't really in the realm of the specific tournament, but more of the entire season, and you know, all the points and making the tiers. Seiko and Fino came up 1 point short of 3-star masters, which was, both of them had, Fino might have, I think Fino had to get 3 wins, and I don't think he got that close to 3 wins. But
so for us constructed,
yeah. So
3-star master means that he gets.
Yeah, let me show you what you get for 3-star masters.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
so.
you know, it's basically what these guys are like striving for all season long. And here, let me show it to you on screen here. Okay. So, you know, right now they're 2-star masters are nice too. I mean, getting 175 points in 150 points is really hard to do. So these guys have already achieved, you know, awesome, just amazing feats. But 3-star masters is a special place where only, you know, a few people, you know, have gotten. And you know, Fino and Seiko were both. Fino actually just needed to go 3 and 4 or something like that in Swiss, and he ended up short. And Seiko was in a match for that, and he ended up like falling short. But if they would have gotten the 200 points, they would have been 3-star masters, which gives you an invite into the playoffs, like the you know, all seasonal playoffs, just all of them, right? So, and then you would get, you know, these additional 2,500 appearance bonuses, like to some of the events, and I guess invites to just more tournaments and some swag too. So yeah, so anyways, that was like heartbreaking for them too. Just all season long they were kind of striving for this, and yeah, they came up short.
That short.
Yeah.
Is it possible to become it still, or are you?
No, I think that was
the last one.
Yeah, that was the last one for them at least. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and that's brutal all year. But they at least get the 2-star, so it's not like it's completely terrible. But the auto invite to the season playoffs, that's obviously like giant, huge, because you don't have to worry about, you know, all the points and everything. So yeah, kind of a bummer for them.
Breaks.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there a list of current 3-star masters, or
Hunter Ace, right?
Yeah, Hunter Ace and
Saiyan,
I think Saiyan's in there. Yeah, I think they're the only 2 right now, I believe.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
that is a small list.
No, I mean it's super hard to do, like crazy hard to do.
I mean, Hunter Ace was just crushing it, like tournament after tournament after tournament for most of the year. So
yeah, exactly. Beginning of the year, he was on, like, literally on fire.
Yep.
And so yeah, really you know, definitely high, just a stratosphere basically for these guys.
Did someone put him out? You know, like, he's burning, man. Like, I hope
well, I mean, you know, Saiyan got hot at the end, right? So,
okay.
so put him out, douse the water on him or whatever. Okay. Oh man. But yeah, so anyways, good tournament, definitely great, entertaining, and you know, I think the big winner here, you know, is probably Viper, because of the deck. You know, definitely a smart thing to do. You know, bringing a deck like that, and he had already qualified, I believe, for Worlds, so I think he had a little bit less to lose, but definitely smart doing that. You know, bringing
to switch it up and have it be so successful. That's always
yeah, for sure. But guys, you know what else is smart though? You know, just outside of Viper.
Tell us, Chan,
Starting the new year off, if you're looking for somebody to hire, starting the year off by going to ZipRecruiter.com/ValueTown to hire the right people. ZipRecruiter's sponsoring this show, just in case you guys didn't know. But unlike other job sites, if you've used a bunch of other ones, ZipRecruiter finds the candidates and they just like bring them to you, like on the website. It like goes and scours all these job sites, and then they just kind of like aggregate it all for you. So it has like a powerful matching technology and scans like thousands of resumes for their skills and experience, and again actively invites them to your job that you post on ZipRecruiter. So you know, just everybody that you see is all qualified candidates, because I've dug through different sites before, and it's just, God, it's really, really time consuming to do that. And ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S., and this rating comes from this hiring sites. Well, it comes from hiring sites on Trustpilot with over 1,000 reviews. So right now, if you're listening to Valuetown and you're, obviously a fan of the show, you can go to ZipRecruiter.com/Valuetown and sign up for free right now and immediately use it. I've used it before. I've been looking for engineers, so like I've been actually actively using it recently to try to find some, and it's been great. And again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/Valuetown. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Okay, so let's talk about Arena. We've been talking about the standard stuff. Like it's like, why are we talking about this stuff when it's an Arena episode? But
I dabble, a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't dabble.
He doesn't dabble. Oh, yeah, that's for sure. But big news, in the Arena space, like actually right before the show, and we didn't get a chance to touch on it last week. So obviously I figured we would talk about this week was the change. They announced a change to both the Rumble Run and the Arenas. Rumble Run, real quick, they just, they definitely changed a bunch of the bosses decks and a lot of the cards that would appear for you. I think now a lot of those cards will synergize with the shrines, and you can kind of get some really powerful and cool kind of synergies that way. And then they kind of like change the way, you select a class and shrine like in the beginning. So they've been trying a bunch of different things there, but I think overall, it's still a lot of fun.
I don't really play much of the single player stuff just because after I've played, enough Arena for the day, I'm kind of like, I don't really want to play single player mode. It never did it for me, but I really like that they not only do this now, but also update it. Like they're putting time and effort into it. And that's good because a lot of people love it. And it's, an actual free thing to do in the game. Mm-hmm. So hopefully they continue to support it like this way.
I played one run. Mm-hmm. I played a rogue run with lots.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And it was fun, and that's it.
Yeah, that's gotta be. It doesn't help me. We're competitive, probably, right? That's probably a college, right? You're competitive. You like playing against other people, and it's like, well, that was fun. Okay, now bring back the Arena.
Yeah.
I definitely played the rogue. I finished the rogue one, but I definitely haven't come close to finishing all the shrines, and I don't have that much motivation to do it, to be honest. So I think the reward needs to be better for doing them all, or
I don't think
something
we're the
like that.
For it though, either, right?
Yes,
it's maybe more the new players, maybe, or
even the new players. 27 shrines is pretty daunting. Like it's just a lot, and they're not easy. So I think they made them easier now, so that you can kind of get through them a little bit quicker. But it was a feat to get through all 27. Like you definitely applaud the people that did it like the first week, because that wasn't easy to do. But on top of the Rumble Run changes, we had Arena updates, which they didn't say too much about it. Like this is like literally it's this much text. Like, hey guys, we lowered the average quality of Hunter Broken Warrior. I mean, come on, this is sparse. This is even sparse for Arena. Like this is crazy.
But you have to understand, Shaman, for a long time we didn't get anything like this.
True,
Arena. Like
true.
They make a change and they wouldn't wouldn't tell us.
Yeah, that's true.
So we see this, we're like, oh baby, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Yeah, usually there are patches. There's no Arena topic. Then someone on Reddit's like, hey, look at all the Arena changes. And you're like, what are you talking about? And they're like, read the patch. There's nothing in there. No. Here's a whole gigantic list of changes that they've done behind the scenes. Oh, thanks for telling us, random stranger on Reddit.
Well, you know what it is? It's just like, I know, like when I was obviously at Hearthstone with Aegis Replay, is that, when the new build or when the new update comes out, we can see all the we can actually see all the changes, and I think the people are able to do the same thing and see the logs basically. And
I will say, I will give them that they have, like, for me, they've got like this 6 months grace period because they removed MC Tech. Just a little buffer room of kindness to every action, just for the follow. Just because they bribe me a little bit. No.
That changes what a month ago now or so.
Yeah. So they got like maybe two more months.
Still got some credit. Still got some goodwill credit from me.
Collins hated that card. I drafted the thing like crazy because I thought it was good, but he took a stand to not draft it, even though
that's impressive.
Yeah,
I can respect that. I can respect that.
I thought I was like, hey, 3-mana 3/3, just randomly win the game. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that on my side.
But it probably worked against you because everybody knows you don't draft it, so they're just like, let's just go 4 or 5 minions on the board.
That's
like
true. That did happen, actually.
yeah. That's tough, man. But still being able to win as much as you do, that's impressive, dude. That's crazy.
It always felt weird when people would play around MCT against me. And I'm always like, huh. Like, you know, they would throw a random 1/1 in to have 3 minions. I'm always like, huh.
You don't know me very well, do you? But okay, so anyways, let's talk about the change. So they just kind of say something where they're trying to get basically just the overall win rate to be 50% in the arena. And what they did is they took the best classes, Hunter, Rogue, and Warrior, and had their average quality of arena picks lowered, which is like, yeah, okay, that's like as general as you get. And Druid, Mage, Paladin, basically everything else had their average quality of their arena picks raised. So, okay.
It's so unfair because it's not the same, right? What they've done is they're like, okay, so Rogue, we like you. We like your class. You know, well, you know what? We'll just nerf you a little bit. You know, we'll keep you above 50% with it. Like, they're like, Warrior, you've been #1 for, you know, maybe a little bit too long. Let's lower you back down to 50. And they're like, you know, Hunter, I hate you. I hate your class. I'm going to nerf you to the last place. You're now the worst class again. Good luck.
Hunter got destroyed.
Yeah, well, let's just look. Wait, where is it? Where's the homepage that we have here? Okay, here we go. Yeah, so
just for perspective, before the patch, I believe Hunter was slightly on top of Warrior.
Was it really? Oh my god!
For a very short period of time, Warrior was like king for a long time,
for sure.
And they were like the 2 top, clearly. And then Rogue was after that, and then everything else was like crap tier.
Somewhat. I mean, you could have success with the classes, but I'm just talking about the win rate from. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So these are the rankings, by the way. Like right now, these are the rankings.
Right. So now we have Warlock. It's kind of came out of nowhere, and now is on top, and Hunter is.
Has Warlock has Warlock ever been on top? Like,
yes.
Has it? Okay.
Maybe
early on, right?
Yeah,
like very
early.
That meta.
What was it? A 6/6 deal 3 to all.
7
God.
6/6 deal 3 to everything.
Yeah.
It's very fair, very balanced. They should put more cards like that in the game.
But yeah, right now it feels like with Warlock, it's just, and you know, since we moved to the bucket system, oftentimes it just feels like whatever class is on top, it just gets offered more good cards.
Yeah.
And so like when I draft Warlock decks lately, it just seems like your buckets on average are better. Like I wouldn't say my decks every time are insane, but it's just more consistent because you don't have as many bad cards.
Yeah. And
before you just never get, you know, like Dreadlords.
Yeah.
Now
getting them nonstop. How many Dreadlords you draft?
So. It's still you maybe get one a draft, but it's still fairly low, thank God.
Yeah.
But, it's still rare, pretty rare. Yeah.
Because that's it, and Mage is up too. So Mage and Warlock were the
full cycle now. So pretty much we've gone through a full cycle now, right? Like where we've got these guys.
Shaman's got no love.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Has Shaman ever been on top?
Yeah, I believe every class has.
Okay,
it was very brief though. Right.
When they had the claw.
Oh, the broken stuff. Yeah, basically when it was broken in standard, it was probably broken in arena too.
Yeah,
just with the totem golems and the all that good stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. So Warrior has dropped down now to 50%, and I was trying to kind of think about why exactly. Because when I play against Warriors, they still have pretty high quality cards, but it seems things like Super Collider,
and the Roar,
and like Warpath maybe has been hit a bit, because I still see a lot of I personally, like I drafted 6 Dragon Roar Warrior the other day, and I could have had 7, but
and why didn't you have 7?
But it went 2 wins, and the thing about it is you just can't get away with, because before the changes you could do that. You could take like 5-6 Dragon Roars and you just have Super Collider. So like you get behind, but you're armoring up, and then you just have a huge swing with that, and then you mess up their next 5 turns, not 5 turns, their next 2 turns, but sometimes more than that actually. It might be 5 turns because they're playing around it and then you don't use it. And so because they dropped that down, you can't get away with being quite as greedy in Warrior anymore.
I haven't seen that many super collides. I've seen more Gorehouse and the 6 mana 4/4
Soul Rays.
Soul Rays.
Which are fair, which are more,
Soul Rays are definitely
not as broken.
Sure.
But honestly, I know they've kind of micro-adjusted it, but I would not have a problem with them just removing Super Collider from Arena.
Yeah, Super Collider is just outright broken.
It makes it feels so terrible to play against two. Like you equip it, or they equip it, and then they probably kill your 2 minions on board. And then unless you just can drop like one big guy each turn and somehow not play another, it just feels really bad to play against. So in Arena, you don't have the tools to deal with it unless you draft Ooze. Just draft Ooze forehead,
Pretty much. Honestly, that was the strategy. Like you get when Warrior's the top, you make sure you have 1 or 2 copies of Ooze.
You just take every one.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah,
it was not good.
It just feels anti-gameplay. Like it's like
that's true.
Conflicting against fundamental elements, especially in Arena, right? That's very minion based and has always been, like more minion centric than standard. Even now, where it's like a little bit more, dynamic than it's ever been. But yeah, that card itself is just. I mean,
I'm just a big proponent about like the feeling. Like I don't want to have people, myself or others, just feel really bad when they're playing a game. Mm-hmm. And when you're playing against someone with Super Collider, and then they like equip another one, you're just like And that was happening before the changes. So thank God they've at least toned it down.
There's a ton of feel bad cards though. Like to be honest, Dragon Slayer is another one.
Right. Yeah, I mean I don't like tech cards in general. So,
tech cards.
Like Dragon Slayer, Galaka Crawler, those kind of cards, but for me it's different because it's one turn and it's over.
What about Lich King?
They rip the band-aid off and it's over.
There's no band-aid with Lich King.
Lich King is, but
it's a legendary, so you don't see it.
Well, I mean,
Stonehill Defender more than once a day. Like I gotta.
But we play a lot of Arena.
I know, but it still hurts.
Yeah, Lich King is. The fact that you don't see it as often, very often, is a lot more palatable than the Collider. The Collider was, you were seeing it probably a ton.
Don't get me wrong. I'll still complain when I see Lich King, of course. But it's not like I'm not going, oh, great, a Lich King. But it's for me, it's just different. Something about Super Collider, and then just looking at my
swing 3 times. You have to deal with it 3 turns. They're going to get 3 great trades, which for 5 mana is insane, and tempo, especially from tempo being so important in Hearthstone. So that's.
So, anyways, I don't want to go off too much on a rant about it, but it's good that they at least just adjusted it down, and I'm actually glad they didn't completely nerf the offering rate for Dragon's Roar because
it was funny because I was like, you were just talking about removing Super Collider. Now it's Dragon's Roar. I like this.
No. I like that card. I mean, it's very powerful, but I think it's in a good spot now where because you can't get Super Collider as reliably and as many War Pass, it seems that you can't just super greed and take every single one. You have to maybe take 2, and take some of just take a 2-drop, maybe a Monty over it,
I disagree. I'll find a way.
All right, good luck. I'm telling you, it was brutal. I was like, well, they curved out on me, and I'm playing 2 mana for a dragon. Like if you hit the AoE dragons, you're still okay, like Dustbreaker or something, but it's riskier these days.
Just be good at the game.
Just good.
Yeah, just looking at some of the cards that have been played a bunch recently. Obviously a lot of these warrior cards we're talking about, like Warpath and I guess Super Collider is not quite as popular.
They've dropped it a lot.
Yeah, so you still got Stonehill here, obviously, but Dragon Roar here, Arena Fanatic. Wow, okay.
I don't know why people do that.
Wow.
Yeah,
wrap that. Stop.
That is the one card that I'm like, why is this? Why is every single other opponent I'm dealing with have a?
I played against a rogue that had 2 of them. Like on 2 out of 3 turns, he played that, and he was dead like a turn later because.
How was this good? Like you have to buff at least 2 guys to even make it like average.
And even if you do buff like 4 or 5, if you drop a 2/3 on turn 4, you might still not be able to recover.
Right.
Like it's brutal.
Because you're only recovering 1/1 for every minion you play. So you play this on 4, right? You've lost -2 to innate, and then you
Man.
play a 5-drop with a +1/1 buff, you're still behind. Right.
That's
So and then you play a 6-drop. Now you're even, right? But they've gotten so much board control in that state that you can't really recover from that point. Yeah.
And then cards like Death Speaker are still pretty common, and so once you lose the board, then they're getting tons of value from their minions on the board. But I've seen it's the one card that in the expansion that people are drafting way too much.
Yeah,
and I'm not
clearly
sure why.
You know, like 17% is pretty darn high. I mean, the win rate, you know, I guess reflects compared to these other top cards. I mean, it's considerably lower than like good 5-6% lower than all the other top cards here. But
just stop. If you care about your win rate, don't let friends draft Arena Fanatics.
I guess is there any other surprises you see here?
Maybe Buffoon. It's not the worst card, but
is it?
Yeah, so Buffoon's a card that like I know some people like it. So like Hafu likes it. Another Arena streamer, Sunglitters, likes it. I never drafted it.
But those people, you know,
those people. What?
I mean, I just like playing. Well, you know, you can't drop it on 3. I don't want to play a 3-mana 2/2. Like everyone drafts Spider Tanks, so 3/4. And so you play this, they play a Spider Tank, and again, you're just behind. So it's not supposed to be that. You're supposed to have enough 3s where you can drop it later on and then make use of the bananas to fill in your curve. But
I see.
Yeah, I don't think it's very good. The Ticket Scalper's a card that people have talked about a lot.
Yeah. Drawing. Yeah. How often does it draw for you?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, even if it doesn't draw, oftentimes people use removal on it. You know, and so that's kind of a win, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So I'd say it's good more often than it's not.
Yeah, but I do agree.
Our buddies over at the Grinning Goat, you know, had walked in Merps, thought this card was going to like be the end of Arena. Maybe not the end of Arena, but it was really like they hated the design of it because it was going to be so polarizing. And
it is kind of polarizing.
It is, but I don't think it isn't exactly defining the meta or anything like that, right?
All right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's polarizing, like, what do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean by that it's polarizing? Because, you know, it can be bad, right? Like a 3-drop can trade into this. If you,
well, that's what they mean. Yeah.
But if
if the difference between
it's
2-drop killing it and it triggering is so huge, it can decide games.
Yeah. But wouldn't that affect your, you know, just the rating of the card then, like whether to pick it or not? And you know, like
no, because the downside isn't crazy bad. You're losing like maybe 1 health over like a 5/4 sometimes you get, right? So like the opportunity it provides to basically win a game if you kill something and get the 2-draw is like you play this on an empty board is how you utilize it, right?
Right.
They either have to waste their removal on it, or they have to waste their removal.
Because you're probably gonna be able to set up a way to at least ping their minion and get a draw or something, right?
Right. So. And so if they don't do that, then you get 2 cards off the top, and it basically counteracts like any type of advantage you've got from trading correctly or things. So that's what it means by polarizing. It can die for free, right? Maybe they have a Frostbolt, right? So you play your 4-drop, they Frostbolt it. That's a 2-mana advantage they've gotten, but sometimes you just win the game off of that, and that's what the polarizing.
And Watch Numbers just didn't like the fact that it was going to be common. You're going to see a lot of it, and it could be either kind of lose you the game or win you the game in their eyes. I wouldn't say it's that dramatic. That polarizing, but yeah, it's a card you see a lot of. I mean, definitely.
Okay,
interesting. So Warbear's on top there, right? Is that what I saw?
Yeah, Warbear's on top. It's a good card, man. Like,
I think I don't like it quite as much as some people.
Me too.
Really?
We're friends here.
I think it just depends on the deck. Like, if you're a faster deck, then it's pretty good.
Yeah,
but oftentimes I play it and I'm like, man, I wish you were an Etten.
Etten, right? Yeah,
exactly. Had like a little more health.
Yeah, this is what control players will definitely say about that card, right? If you are aggressive, then you can actually make a good use of the rush mechanic, right? Dealing with whatever and then going first the rest of your cards. But if you are a control player and you just want to drop down big boy after big boy, it basically does the exact same thing as an Etten, but you lose 2 health on it. So you have to be playing the right type of deck, the right type of aggression removal type deck to really take advantage of it. But there are a lot of players that do that, and it does have a good win rate to reflect that. So it isn't a bad card even in control, but it could be better for ourselves.
Yeah, it's so good, and I mean, it allows you to kill, high.
I mean, it's a rush. It's a rush minion.
Yeah,
which is
you kill target, like let's say the ticket scalp or something, so you can't draw.
Yeah,
but
like that.
I do find, oftentimes if I am playing like a more control, I look at it and I'm like, well, because sometimes you just drop it on an empty board because you're at 7 health or something, and you're like, well, it's my taunt,
Yeah.
So, but it's very good. I mean, it's just I guess the thing is I don't always pick this card, and I think most people kind of always pick it when it's offered.
True.
I think it's that.
Okay, there is a card that I do have a problem with.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's hear it.
Untamed Beastmaster. I don't think this is good design at all. I think the card stats is too playable, too available. A 3-mana 3/4. No one's ever going to complain about that type of stat line in this game. And then it has the opportunity to just win you games for this card existing. You didn't do anything. You just drop this on 3, and then turn 4. What you draw a tortoise, you draw like the 2/7 beast, whatever stupid card you can draw a 2-mana beast even. And
now I buff just a gastropod, and then now my 2 damage removal, like Flame Geyser, doesn't kill it, and I lose my big minion. And you're like, well,
it's a card you play. It opens up. It gives you the potential to instantly win the game by just doing nothing. And I just think this is horrible design. It pisses me off because I pick it. Because it's a fantastic card. But then I triggers and I get triggered every time.
I mean, there's no downside to it. Like the biggest thing for me is like there's no downside to a card, and when there's no downside to a card, it's automatically an auto pick or an auto add. Surprisingly, it hasn't made it into standard yet. Like I thought maybe like that type of hunter that has the hyenas now, and stuff like that might want something like this.
It's not a beast itself, which is probably
that's probably true. But I do agree with you, Colin. Like there's a 3/4 is like above average, like for a 3 body.
Dragon Slayer, right?
Yeah,
because Dragon Slayer's a 4/3.
Yeah,
and upside you can just you hit a Cobalt Scalebane on curve, you probably just win. Yeah. So those cards, for Arena, we don't love them. I mean, at the same time, it makes for some exciting moments. I don't want to kill all randomness because I do like a little bit of the RNG, not gonna lie, but
you like that 7/9 Warbear off the top, huh? You like them playing that 9/9 Violent Worm, huh? Hey.
Again, I'll complain about it when it happens, but secretly, I do like to have some of these kind of random effects just as a streamer. But I agree that this one and cards like Dragon Slayer, Galactic Crawler.
Give me randomness, but give me a downside. Make it, if it was a 2/4 stat line, I wouldn't mind. If it was a 3/3 stat line, I wouldn't mind. It's just that it's got perfect stats plus the potential to instantly win you the game. It's like it's not as like big as MCT, but it's still a very obnoxious situation when they just draw it and then they're playing your 6/6 4-drop for no reason, and you're just like,
if you get this choice early, man, you can totally mold your.
That's what I do, and I hate it.
The thing is, you get a lot of beasts just naturally now too, because Warbear, a lot of the good cards are Violet Worm. You pretty much take every one, so you don't even have to necessarily.
If this was a Murloc, I would love it. Right? Imagine +2/+2 for your Murlocs. If you triggered it, I would be like, "Well done, Soldier." But it's the common. Everyone uses the beast. So there's no. I don't have any sympathy for you or myself.
Okay. Yeah, I have to agree with you there.
And that other card, the Scorcher, is another kind of I don't know if I say meta defining, but it's another very good card from the.
I do think it is meta defining because you have to play around like Fan of Knives with every deck.
I have been starting to take like a few less like Microtech Controller, the 3-drop, the 2/1 that summons 2/1/1s, just because I end up having to play it. It's like that's gonna
Just
you know
wipes
it's
it.
gonna
It
be
just
rough.
completely wipes it out. So
Yeah, so
it's
it
crazy good.
and you tend to take this most of the times it's offered.
Yeah.
But again, I wouldn't say I take it every time, and that's a good thing. Like there aren't that there's still some, but there aren't that many cards that I take every single time without thinking. So
There are for me.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
do
but
you
you're a dirty control player. I switch it up, you know. I sometimes I want to hit them in the face.
That's right.
Yeah.
Collins, do you feel bad about this card though? Like, what general feelings like about this card in terms of like how it affects the meta? And I mean,
so Scorcher, I think it's a fine card in that you know it exists, right? Like there are cards that are once you know they exist, you can kind of plan your turns around there, right? They could have a Scorcher. Let's not do this because it's a very common 5-drop, and if they do this, I'd lose. So, but it is very strong, and I think I definitely at the beginning of the meta when everyone like you had a ton of new cards, everyone was just playing into the Scorchers because no one expected the priest has this now 1 damage ping, you know, even though they have them, but it's not as common, right? So it's just a card that changes the meta and then the meta adapts to it. And it's kind of nice because there are some classes that do need the AoE, right? There are classes that have a ton of AoE, don't really care. But there are other classes that it's very hard to get usable AoE in their decks, hunters, things like that, right? So having that access really helps their consistency. So
yeah,
I don't really mind it.
Yeah, this card, it's kind of funny because it's like in my mind and my brain, I know this card is actually really solid, but you know, when I do end up playing it, you know, outside of a few instances where, you know, all these 1/1s line up for me, it's never quite enough, you know what I mean? So I guess that's what makes it a good card, or makes it
killing one minion is
well-designed.
enough, to be honest.
Yeah,
okay. You don't need to win the game off of it. If it allows your 4/4 to trade into their 5/5, that's right. That's really good tempo in my opinion.
But it's more subtle, and I mean that's better design for sure. When where you're working in these type of
if all of a sudden this was 2 damage,
hell no, Primordial Draco,
right?
Beastmaster level.
There's a very big difference in that. So, and the same thing like back when Abyssal Force was defined the meta. 3 to all is just, you know, obviously it's just nutty. Dustbreaker when it hits is insane, and in Arena, that tends to just win people the game. So it's the fact that it's 1. I don't love it, but I don't think it's super problematic. And it gets hit by Dragon Slayer, which is pretty common now.
It does feel like a non-common card though. Like I would imagine this card being a rare card, just purely its power level and stuff. But I guess we got to give we got to give the people some cards that can't afford to buy a ton of packs. So Stone Hill Defender still obviously awesome, right? I mean, has it gotten better or worse? I mean, obviously Money Warbear's helped a lot, but
I don't think
it's gotten worse
as I used to.
You don't take it as much? Oh, okay, cool. That's
I still take it because the card's fun, but I don't think it's as strong. The pool's a little bit more diluted, so you don't see as many Lich Kings in there or Primordial Drakes, right? Just because there's more taunts. But I mean, it's still a solid card, but it's also in a bucket where I think it's respectable. A bucket that you have to think about: do I really want this?
I see.
This Stonehill. So I think it's enough. It's in a better place, except for Paladin still. But whatever.
Paladin, all kinds of good.
And then Violet Worms card, not a new one, but
the Violet. Which one? Violet? Oh, Violet.
Yep.
I mean, Violet
that's
good, right? Yeah.
That's a card that just. It's frustrating that it's so common, I think, because it's one of those cards where either you're ahead enough that you can just go face and win, or you have an answer, or you just kind of lose. Because
this card makes my control style a lot more consistent, just because it's a reliable card that you get in the draft that I know, this card will 2 for 1, 3 for 1 sometimes.
Fills your board. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a kind of big boy that it's a little bit too strong and a little bit too pickable. Like we're talking about how I don't think there's that many cards that you auto pick. I almost always take at least the first Violet Worm. So
good man.
All right, which card here do you take the most of, and what's the number? Like what would be your highest ideal number for one of these cards in terms of like
in a deck?
Yeah, I think you wanted like 5 or 8 or some crazy number of a card. Like, is there any card like that right now?
Well, Warpath. I take 4 or 5 Warpaths.
Okay, yeah. That card's insane.
Worm, there's a limit because it doesn't have taunt. So.
I take upwards of 3 to 4.
Which one?
For me. Worms, yeah.
I mean, it's 8 mana.
No thanks, man. I don't want 4. I mean,
8 mana doesn't matter. Yeah,
different
for me,
style, but
no thanks. Don't want worms.
I take like 2. Yeah,
2.
I can only have so many worms in my life.
I mean, I don't need worms in my life. Whoa,
I don't think anybody wants worms in their life. But is that the only cards then? Like
Fire Plume's a very good card.
Oh, Fire Plume, yeah.
I take a lot of those.
I would take 4 or 5 of those.
Yeah.
Too,
oh,
yeah.
nice. Okay.
But when Ngoro finally rotates, it's going to be
so different.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like Ngoro, I mean, this is gone and this is gone.
It's constructed and arena, right?
This
I mean,
is
it's
gone, and like half of these
Fungal
cards are gone.
Mancer's a lot of the meta for a long time, and
Yeah.
I'll honestly miss a lot of the cards because they're fun.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like it'll be good to have change.
Change is always good, man. Like even if there are good cards going to the wayside, it's Ankle Biter. Oh my god, Ankle Biter. Oh, okay, yeah, I can see
It's
that.
a solid card.
Yeah,
I take quite a bit,
solid
especially
card.
non-big classes.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, if you sort by when you sort by win rate, it's all crazy stuff. It's just all the top classes.
Well, then you can sort by win rate and then remove the sparse data, and then like there are ways to
that's true.
get rid of the gunk. For sure.
What? Vilespine's a good card? What?
What? I know.
Shocking.
Yeah, exactly. Venomous. All right, I guess all these cards are nuts.
Super Colliders in 6% of decks. Wait, no. Let's look at Warrior decks. In 32. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That I was about to.
Yeah, I mean.
Wait, I feel like I say more than that.
Wow, Arathi is in 34% or 33%. Okay.
Arathi's amazing.
Yeah,
it's
actually,
we talked about Fire Plume.
I guess it's more common. It's a common card too. So
it's like Fire Plume, but just better.
This is an epic card. This is an epic card that's in 32%, which is
they changed the way the draft works. So epic, the rarities don't matter as much.
Oh,
it's just
that's true. I guess.
And before the changes, I don't know exactly the number, but it was a lot higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now with the just a week's worth of data, for you guys, what's your favorite class to play right now? I mean, has there really been that much of a change that it would change your opinion or preference for a class or that sort of thing?
Not really. I'm a little bit weird. I kind of just pick the worst classes and go with it.
No, I respect that, dude. Yeah, that's the that's how I gotta play Hearthstone.
Not me. I'm the scumbag that takes classes.
Yeah. So when Warriors at the top, I wasn't playing it, but way before when Warriors at the bottom, I was like, "Give me that Warrior. Let me play."
So you're hipster, Collins.
Yeah,
I know.
I respect that. Totally respect that.
I mean, I've been having fun playing with Mage a bit. I do enjoy playing Mage in Arena. I know it gets a lot of hate, but I do like it. Rogue's traditionally my favorite class. It's dropped a bit, but I've still been having success with it. And it's still above, about 50.6%.
Mm-hmm.
So but those are the two.
I've been a big fan of Priests. Like people always meme about it, right? Like, but there's some truth to it. I do like mind controlling other people's cards and just making them kill themselves and just like healing my face for 2 while they have nothing on the board.
They're doing stuff and then you scream and then
Well, I don't run scream. I'm not a screamer here. I just cause mass hysteria. That's it.
Okay. I mean, pretty much pretty similar, at least result-wise.
So Warlock's on top, at least win rate wise, but I don't love playing Warlock. I mean, it's okay. Just right now, because Demon Bolt is kind of a very defining card. You get offered a lot of them, and they're fairly cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So a Zooey or even mid-rangey style with Demon Bolts does well, but I find it kind of... I don't know. There's not a whole lot of thought to a lot of your turns because
There's
like,
Warlock here.
flip the board
It
and then
encourages you to play a little bit more aggressive, and I'm not too much of a fan of that. I mean, I will dabble into it just to see how it goes, but
I mean, for the tournament coming up, I'll definitely, and
Speaking of which,
I want to practice with these classes
for sure.
All right. Speaking of which, we do have an arena event that's coming up soon, which Twitch announced recently, which is Twitch Rivals doing another one. Obviously Frodan's probably behind this one. Hearthstone Arena Team Draft Challenge. And this one's pretty different than all the other ones we've seen before, which have been pretty much like individual. Yeah, individual type of tournaments. This one's you pick a partner, and it's going to be 2-member teams. And for $10,000, and I think the prize pool is for is total $10,000. There's 20 teams, and basically you pick the cumulative best scores for each person making 3 arena runs, consecutive arena runs.
Yeah. So it's not the case where you only do 3 runs and then that's it.
Yeah. You can keep doing as long as they're consecutive, right? Like
you got 8 hours to do as many runs, and then your top 3 are picked.
How many runs can you do in 8 hours?
Consecutive.
Like 4 or 5.
Okay, so you don't have too much margin of error there.
So I think the time frame is makes sense in terms of just doing 3 runs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you might be able to get in 1 or 2 more, but I think maybe if you play really, there'll be strategy into it, like how you want to start, what deck you want to start with, and you want to retire at the very beginning until you find a good deck and things to think about.
Interesting.
On that.
Hey, Dreads, you shouldn't be spoiling these
strategies. Your partner's not very happy right now, Dreads.
For all the other challengers. It's a freebie we're gonna give you, but you think on your own.
Okay, I'll keep more of my.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
You guys aren't even partners. It doesn't even what does it even matter?
But
so let's talk partners. Let's talk partners. Dreads, who's your partner in this?
So I'm playing with Boozer.
Okay.
To Twitch.tv, Boozer TV. And he's been #1, I think, twice, and just very consistent, strong finishes. So, just another very good player, nice guy. And so, yeah.
There's Boozer's in chat. He's definitely foreheading your
our secrets. Yeah, I was spilling more beans yesterday on stream too. He's giving me a hard time about it. What can I say? I'm an open book.
Yeah. Collins, your partner.
So I've been telling my chat that I'd tell them on the stream. I'm playing with Tarkham TV. Taking that knowledge and adding it on, we should have a good shot at this thing. That's going to be pretty hype.
Okay. All right. I expect some interest. The strategic element, I definitely have high expectations from you guys then to see what you guys end up doing. So everybody's just going to be streaming this, right? And then there's just going to be a main broadcast on Twitch Rivals channel, which I guess there'll be casters that are. They haven't
announced the talent for that and stuff yet, but
it's pretty good. 4,000 for first, second place. I guess each person gets that, obviously, right? And
I think having it all in one day is good. I mean, we had the Gold Rush, which was a lot of fun to participate in. Collins did really well. Collins got second in that. But it made for a pretty drawn out viewing experience, and there wasn't like a main channel where it was being casted on. So I think having it all in one day means that people might be able to watch all of it or most of it, and could be a little bit more hype. And also some more big names will probably take part in it, which is good for the event overall. Like Crips is going to do it, which he didn't take part in the Gold Rush, for example. So
it's because after the first day, you kind of get a feel of how things are going to play out, right? So that's kind of why a lot of people dropped, at least in the Gold Rush after the first day. If they didn't have a good start, they kind of felt super behind, right? But here it's a one day, so you try your best and you see where you go.
Right.
So,
I mean, the most hype for the Gold Rush was on the first day, to be honest. Maybe you
and the last day,
Yeah, the last day, particularly for you, like on the last day. but yeah, I would think maybe a 2-day event would be just the most you could go there. And
I do think, although it's going to be a co-op, or you can co-op and it's a partner event, I still think it's going to be a mostly like single player experience, because it just depends on how people want to do it. But it's not very easy to pay attention to 2 different games going on at the same time. And it also would probably slow each other down. So
yeah, it's not like you're, hey, how'd you do there? And that affects how I do. You know, you really don't care.
Okay,
right?
let me
It's
look at your turn. Do you want to
exactly.
play 2-3 or the 3-2?
Right.
Maybe we should coin. You know, like it's better for you to just think about that by yourself. Probably.
That would be fascinating. You have both games up and you're both talking.
See, that's what the sealed event was. That
would be cool.
That was cool. Yeah,
that would be actually cool if you
needed
both
advice.
players had to play both at the, you know, like one in NA, one in EU region, right? So you never face each other, and then you just kind of. I like this.
You mean two people play 2 games basically?
Yeah. Two people play 2 games and talk
it's
about
like
it.
playing chess, like 2 games of chess or something. Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. Oh, sorry guys, it's prize pools per team, not per person.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously it's 10,000. I was thinking 20,000 for some dumb reason.
It's nice to have something to.
It's fun. This is great. You know, like I think Twitch rivals.
That sounds exciting.
What?
The 2 people playing 2 games.
Collins is now over the Twitch rivals event.
He's like, screw this Twitch rivals thing. Let's do another.
Thanks for this one, but how about
let's talk about the next arena event.
Okay, I'll get back to reality.
But it's a big deal. I mean, we haven't had that many things like this for arena, and the fact that we do have something. Yeah, we definitely appreciate it, at least the arena community.
Yeah, shout out to Frodan for that.
Yeah, thanks a bunch of Frodan and everyone else involved.
The Twitch in general.
This Twitch Rivals thing, man, it's been hugely successful. You know, like with all kinds of games, right? All these events.
Yeah, the league one's been going on. Right, Toast has taken part in that.
Yeah, that's crazy. All-Stars.
He's two-timing us.
He's two-timing. I know.
This guy.
It's the League of Legends mistress, man. Like. What's going on here? We don't know anything. We're just the not, I don't know, what do you call it? The wife that knows nothing.
He just knows that Hearthstone will be there for him when he
that's true.
Back.
That's true. Okay, well, why don't we talk about, I guess what are your thoughts on this expansion? Like, do you think it's impacted Arena in a big way, or you know, not too much? Like, what are some cards that really stand out? Dragons Roar, obviously. Okay, I mean, anything that we haven't talked about yet, I guess.
I could take a look at the
we talked about most of I would say the meta defining ones. I mean, now Warlock, I would say, like we said, Demon Bolt, but I think Demon Bolt's a big one right now for its rise. Mage, I don't really
Blast Wave.
Yeah, I guess Blast Wave is fairly common now.
Blast Wave. That's a good one.
So Beastmaster Roaster has been annoying because of Dragon's Roar, but you know that's kind of like a combo piece. The Warbear has been a pretty good aggressive tool people have been using. The Shell Fighter, it's not as frequent, but when it does come out, it's like, oh, this is a thing. Former Champ's a pretty powerful 5-drop in that a lot of the 5-drops we have nowadays are just a 5-mana 5/5 with some kind of situation.
This is a card I almost always take, at least the first.
Yeah, getting the extra 1/1 is very useful. Devastate's been okay. It's some people kind of review as another execute, but it's a little bit more situational. But it's cheaper, right?
I'm getting hit by the Warpath, and then
Devastate, right? Yeah, I get hit by.
And every time I have that, Warrior. Even though it's dropped, it's still the class I'm playing the most when I'm playing against.
And then we've got the Ticket Scalper we've talked about, and then maybe the Slightless Ranger, the Rush, the 5-mana 3/4 Rush has been. It's when I looked at it, I wasn't really sold on this card, but after playing with it with me and my co-op partner, we've kind of seen like it provides instant relief and then persistent pressure. So you get to deal with something, and then you get the 1/1s as well, and then you have this minion that people trade into as well. So it's kind of like a two-time effect. So I think it's also a pretty useful and powerful card. So and I guess Bogus and Announcer just for aggro people, just to get the aggro.
Yeah, that's actually a very good card from this set, the Moshug Announcer. And even if you're not an aggressive deck, just the fact that people can't always kill it means that you might get a Death Speaker off, or get a heal it or something.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely had a couple of. I still remember I had one game where I was like, oh, should I razor pedal this? Like with the, with the 1 damage pedal, or should I just hit it with my face to finish it off? And the rope was burning. And I was like, oh, I think it's better to save the pedal. And so then, of course, I'm like, oh, I sort of swing into it. It's at 1 health because I had thrown another minion into it in action. Else. And it's like, oops, and I go face, and I'm like, oh, crap. I forgot again.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that because it's not usually this way, right? It's usually the other way.
The rope was burning, and I was like, yeah, this seems smart. Okay. Oh, I just lost the game. So a 5 cost that has decent stats that can do that is pretty insane.
Yeah. I think there's a card as well that we may have overhyped.
Yeah, well, we were going to get to that. But we can go ahead and start that. Which one is overhyped? Like,
are we spoiling? Oh, am I mentioning it? Okay. I think it would be Line Cracker. I think when we saw this card, we're like, bam, look at this. It overkills. You make a 10 attack minion, and then you win. You make a 20 attack minion, and then you win the game.
Oh, right.
But in reality, that doesn't happen. People play it, and then you're like, all right, let me kind of just ignore it and play my minions. Then they trade into it, and you trade back. And I have not been hit for 20 ever, so it feels bad. Like I would love to. It would be an interesting experience to one time in the future, just once, get hit for 20, maybe 40, and then
side quest, man.
Never again.
that's a stream quest right there.
Yeah, I'd say like the Druid card. The
7/7 Direhorn? Yeah,
the 7/7. That's like a better version of it, where it's actually pretty annoying.
Yeah.
No, the
iron. This one.
Yeah, that guy. Because this one, if you ignore it, then there's like more 5/5s, and it's not as easy to ignore, I would say, this card. And it's easier to get the overkill because sometimes the 5 attack won't be enough to get an overkill, but 7 almost always will be. So I mean, I still take Line Cracker sometimes if I just need a link.
Me too. Right. I'm not saying it's a bad card. But I think people are expecting it to perform a lot better than it is. Like even looking at the win rates, it's like next to Belligerent Gnome, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not too spicy.
Okay. Well, there was a question that we were going to ask in Q&A from Ahmeden that was basically asking what our most surprising and disappointing cards were. So I guess those were the disappointing ones. So we talked a little bit about surprising. Any other surprises for you? I mean, I can definitely say mine, but mine are a little bit more standard based.
Well, I actually looking at some of the notes, I had the same thought about. So for me, the spirit cards are terrible in Arena.
I knew it.
Yeah. Like every time you don't draft them, but when they're generated,
good? Yeah,
when they're generated, you're like, oh, great! I just don't get anything for my card that was generated. So and even when I played a little bit of constructed, you never see them. I think I've seen the rogue one like once or twice, and person lost horribly
when they die instantly. I mean, I just kill it instantly. It's like so easy to kill.
Yeah, so I would say it's a little, those were hyped up a bit, and the warrior one's still okay. Spirit of the Rhino, I think it's the name of it, because there are quite a few rush cards in Arena, but I just never see the card. So I don't know if it's because of the bucket it's in or what, but
it's probably difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it's still that card is actually decent, but I just don't see it. So it's like they haven't really had an impact on Arena, and so
which
a little disappointing, I guess.
I mean, mine's the same too. Like with the spirits, I mean, given that the expansion was designed heavily around the spirits, I think that was a pretty big failure, at least for short term. Maybe when the reset happens and the power level goes down by a lot. I don't think it changes Arena. Just putting down a 0-3 is just like
too low. We talk about Arena Fanatic, except this one didn't get the buffs. Like.
Right. So, but with standard, I think there's maybe a chance, that we see 1 or 2 of them once, the reset happens and the power level goes down by a lot. But right now, they're not even close to being good enough, like to being played. So, the rogue one is the only one I've seen in standard too, and I don't even. It doesn't live long enough for me to even know what it's used for, to be honest. So I've never even seen the impact of it.
I do want to say I told you so, because usually people say I don't want to say I told you so. I do want to say I told you so. I was talking with some other, Infinite Arena players in a similar format, and they were like, oh, the whatever they're called, the spirit cards, they are gonna see some use. And I was like, I think none of them are gonna be good.
It wasn't me. I didn't say this stuff.
It wasn't you, and I'm not gonna name names, but I'm just saying. I told you.
Maybe that person's on the lower side of infinite. Not no shots or anything. Just...
if they're picking them and still winning, I mean that's pretty impressive.
It wasn't my partner for the challenge, was it? Boozer? Better not have been you.
Better not be Boozer. Now look at this. Spirit of the Rhino's win rate's not too bad. The others are pretty bad.
It's the only one that I'd even look at, basically.
I've seen this one maybe every so often, but it's not, it's just some kind of janky deck that people try it. But
I've seen that played in Arena, but
yeah, I've seen it played, and then they do nothing with it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, that just shows you just how important tempo is to Hearthstone. Whatever format you play, and it's a good concept, works well in Rumble, but it's
Did I say it does nothing? It's a 4-mana heal 3, actually. Let me clarify.
Wait, it's a 4-mana heal 3? Wait, what?
Yeah, because I have to put 3 attack into it.
Because you will kill it. Because you're like, well, what if, right?
Right. Okay. So it's a 0/3 taunt for 4 mana, basically. Yeah. Okay. That's not too good for those who've never played Hearthstone for listening to this or for whatever reason. All right, I guess in terms of surprising for me, what did I put down for surprising? I put it in the notes here. I put Master's Call, which you guys probably don't play too much. Yeah, you never played this card, right, in Arena. But Master's Call has just been like the fundamental card for like one of the best hunters right now. And it's just amazing. It's like they always draw 3 beasts. It's like I've never seen a person not draw 3 beasts.
It's like their whole deck is beasts.
What? Yeah, I mean they have some spells in the damn thing. It's like they never hit them. It's amazing. So it's
does it say cards or minions?
I think you have to hit beasts from it.
You have to you have to discover beasts, right? You have to the things that you discover are beasts. Have to be beasts for you to.
But I don't think you can discover spells.
So all the minions. Okay, of course they're getting them every single time. Then So anyways,
but I've actually played a little bit of I think it was Hunter Ace's Hunter list with it, and cards pretty fun. Like you have the Dire Frenzy with it, and then you can pull your buffed up beast out of your deck. It's pretty cool.
Oh, I've actually never played it, so that's kind of why I probably got that wrong. But yeah, so that I didn't anticipate that being just like basically an auto 3 every, being able to build an entire deck that's all beasts like that. I just never imagined that being possible. And we're seeing the hyenas again, right?
This is why Untamed Beastmaster isn't being played.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin it with this.
Master's Call, man. That's the nemesis of the Beastmaster, because it'd be pretty good. I think that card would be pretty darn good in that deck if it was.
Beastmaster doesn't even have a Master's Call, lol.
That concept that was better than the put him out, the douse him or whatever earlier.
Yeah,
that was better than that one.
Wait, was that on air? That wasn't even on air.
That was on air.
Oh, that was on air. Oh my gosh! Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there were some silly things said even off air. But okay. Any other surprising cards? I think that I'm trying to let me bring up.
Most. I mean, for Hunter, Baited Arrow's been a really great card, but I think everyone kind of expected it to be very good.
It was like the first week of the expansion. That was like one of mine, but I haven't played it too much though. Outside of that,
yeah, just in Arena, like basically deal 2, summon a 5/5 for 5, which is insane, and it can go face at the end of the game if you do just finish it. So,
I lost a game because I didn't do that.
You didn't use it to go face, so you didn't realize. You're like, wait, why would I go face with this beautiful card? I don't get a 5/5 here. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's crazy that way. I guess Jacklick's been a little bit disappointing. I mean, it's just so specific. Like you can't play this card outside of that discard deck.
Yeah.
I guess Halazi was good. I'm trying to think if there's anything that we had high hopes for, but
the Paladin.
Oh, whatever. Genili.
I think.
Yeah,
Geneli.
the Dragonhawk. That's been kind of disappointing. Like, nobody runs this. I guess there's just no mage that can run this.
Odd mage runs it, but odd
It's
mage
too slow.
Yeah.
Pinging every turn is just too slow.
I had 2 offered in a draft the other day, and chat's like, "Come on,
And
you
you
gotta
picked
take it."
both
I'm like,
of them, right? You
No,
did.
I would like to try to win. I'll take the Ziliax or whatever, or Cairn or something.
It's next to Ziliax? Oh, God.
It was something. It was some really good card. I can't remember.
That's
I was
tough.
like, no, that card's good. I'm gonna take that one.
Yeah. Let's see. Anything else? Yeah, I think that's probably the only thing I had high ratings on before or pre-expansion.
Undasta's been okay.
Undasta's been amazing for me. It's because I'm control, so I always get a charged Devil Sword or a worm out of it. Beautiful.
God, I mean, the worm. I mean, that's insane. I mean, you get like 8 mana for that. That
charged Devil Sword is also pretty nasty. Like it goes face.
True.
You know,
True.
It's like playing a Devil Sword, or no, like what's the Hunter legendary?
Crush.
It's like playing King Crush, right?
Yep.
You Undasta a minion and then you King Crush to your face with the
and that sounds like constructed too. Like basically. Here I don't think that. Yeah, Undasta, I don't even think I've seen the peak. I think this card is going to be like nasty broken later in.
I feel like my unstable evolution has gotten a lot worse lately with like Hyreek in the pool and
evolution, yeah. But that's not a bad thing. I think that
the 8 drops have gotten kind of weak. Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's necessarily bad. I'm just saying I've noticed that when I do play Shaman, it's like, oh, that's not what I wanted.
Undertaker hasn't. It's like outside of the whole Druid deck. I haven't really seen this much. I thought this was going to be a little bit. We'd see a little bit more of this, but yeah, not too much. But yeah, so if you guys in the chat have any other questions, definitely be sure to include them or go ahead and tweet them over at ValueTownGG, and we'll ask away here. But in the meantime, I did want to just kind of reiterate that this is our 200th show, and our patrons have been the main support for the show just all throughout the years, and so I can't express just how appreciative I am to just all of you guys that have been supporting the show, and a lot of the folks that are patrons right now have been supporting the show for a long time. So thank you so much, guys. You guys are amazing, and I just wouldn't be able to do the show, quite honestly. There was like maybe a couple of years ago where I literally was going to stop the show if we didn't get enough support, and if everybody came out and was able to keep it going because of that. So big shout out to you guys for that, and just to name a few like we always do, and we do this every week. I wish I could name them all, but it would just take too long, and be a little boring to kind of listen. But Mike T, our legendary producer, and Mike's been there for a long time, so big thanks to him, of course. Raydan, Bryce L as well, Lee D, Nick P, Peter V, Keepa, Greg S, Blake T, Nick B, Champ W, Michael S, Richard G, Chris C, and Zach M. Thanks so much, guys, again for doing that. And we'll get to everybody that's supporting the show right now, like as the weeks go by. And I think I might have mentioned that I was trying to get some devs on at some point, and I was hoping to get it on this show, so we could all talk about like Arena and everything with devs too. But just the schedule didn't really line up quite well. So we'll have that in the coming weeks for sure. So I know that we'll be doing some special stuff here, early in 2019. But yeah, so 200 shows. I don't think I've actually gotten to 200 shows with any of my other shows before. So this is actually rare territory for me to get there. So anyways,
congrats to you. That's
awesome to have you guys on the 200th one to celebrate that with me, and everybody to watch that too. Okay, so Seeples has a question. Okay, so I guess it has to do with Artifact here. The community was hoping some competition in the digital CCG arena would motivate positive player-focused changes from the Hearthstone team. Increased player rewards, competitive modes, etc. Most recently, we thought this competition would come from Artifact. Given yesterday's news that Artifact has lost 97% of its players in the last 2 months, how do you think this affects the trajectory of Hearthstone? Positively, negative, not at all? Man,
only 97, huh?
That is hard to do. That is hard to do.
I don't want to say I saw it coming, but I will. Saw it coming.
Okay. I didn't see this type of just collapse and misstep by Valve. I didn't think it would be like this.
Yeah, it's so bad to
crazy.
watch. Like
Yeah,
it's so hard to follow, and I think Twitch is a big, is pretty important, and the ability to for the game to be so hard to follow on Twitch is just a big deal. And I don't know, people aren't streaming it, and I don't know how many people are still playing it, but I think it's
3%.
3% of what though? It's like,
yeah. I think it's just a kind of a good, it sucks for the game, but I think it kind of is a
wake up call.
Lets people know that you need to make your game visually appealing or easy to understand or something. This model just didn't work, right? Whatever they did, it just didn't work.
The game was appealing, like the art is nice and everything. It's just that when you sit down, right, and you try to watch this game, you have absolutely no idea who's winning until the game's over. Like the turn before the game is over, you really are like, well, this guy could still like there isn't really any way to represent advantages, so it's kind of hard to watch. And because you're only looking at one board at the same time, if you're not like completely focused in the stream, you're watching 100% attention, right? A lot of people don't spend 100% attention watching streams. You really have no idea what's going on because you might miss a board state, you might miss a turn. And so just the way it was designed, it's very tough for other people to watch and enjoy without using all of their resources to do that. And I really think that's like the biggest issue. Like the game was fun, and the game is fun. Like when I played it, I enjoyed it. But just like when you put the viewer perspective in, they really didn't. It didn't seem like they cared at all.
Well, they took the Dodo approach, right? Like they just like we don't care about the casual elements of anything. Right. We want to do this as hardcore as possible, even from I mean, I don't know if they disregard viewership, but even from the viewers, like I don't care if they don't think that we can watch it or not. Like I still want to make this the most hardcore, card game, and it's like in the end that's not what gaming is today. The gaming space is not going to be receptible to anything like that. And it's not like when Dota came out. Dota right now is not necessarily watched that much outside of the event either. Like people, much rather watch League of Legends as well. So, I would say, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, so because Steve Bell's question was kind of specific.
Yeah, it's about Hearthstone, right? And I think that well, to speak to that a little bit more, like, I think Magic Arena or Wizards is doing some good stuff.
Exactly, was my thought.
Yeah,
like I don't think the competition is going to be coming from Artifact.
Yeah,
but I think Magic has
filled that role.
So I don't think, because I think people worry, Hearthstone's just the one, and they don't need to worry about changing things or updating things or pleasing people because they're just the one. But I don't think that's the case, which is probably a good thing.
Magic's always going to be there too. They have the legacy, and that they'll always have that base to go off of, because the physical game still exists today as well, and there's still tours and tournaments and everything going on. So, but I do like the events that they did. Noxus having his own event, Kibler having his own event, just like that ability is something we've never seen in Hearthstone. So maybe the Hearthstone team is looking at that and seeing what they can do. But my thoughts are, I don't think they're looking too much into what everybody else is doing. Like, I think Hearthstone's still beats at its own drum, beats at its own, just sticks to their own plans, and they're gonna stick with that.
Yeah, I think they keep tabs on what other people are doing, of course, but at the end of the day, it's more important to improve their own game than to adjust to whatever because we've seen it before. It was, what was the Gwent? Gwent was going to be the Hearthstone killer, and then I don't know, maybe Eternal had a little bit of time, and there were some rumbles maybe about Shadowverse or something, and it's like, well, and then
it's not easy to achieve what Blizzard has achieved. That's I think if anything, it makes me appreciate Hearthstone more, if anything. So okay, let's see the next thing. Any other questions here in the chat? Let me see. You guys, wait. Let me see if there's
a lot of discussion more than
there's
questions.
a lot more discussion. Be sure to ask your questions, guys, because I know you got questions. Will there ever be a Blizzard killer? No. I mean, at least not in this space. I just Hearthstone's gonna be around forever.
Maybe Inferno, counteract the Blizzard.
Oh God! Don't do it. Don't
Inferno is gonna make so much money, dude. Like it's not gonna be considered bad. Let's see. Okay, well, I'll give you guys like another minute. But until then, well, let's see. Let's try to think of another question here for you guys. So how much are you guys looking forward to the reset? Like, is it as big of a deal? Like for me as a standard player, I think that the reset next year is going to, be one of the maybe the biggest thing that's happened to Hearthstone, man, since I can remember. Like the game is going to like lower power level in such a huge way that the game will feel quite different for the standard game mode. But what about Arena? Like, will it have that kind of impact to Arena?
It definitely will. Yeah, I mean, because you lose one, your pool of cards is way lower, way smaller, so the new cards will have a big impact just for that. Because you won't, you'll have 2 less expansions basically to work with, and just the cards from Un'Goro specifically, and just that whole rotation cycle have been so insane that it's going to be a very different meta, and so I can't wait. Yeah, my only concern is that I hope they do add more of the fun. I think a lot of the cards from Un'Goro were fun, so yeah, they were broken a bit, but hopefully they have some doesn't have to be the same power level, hopefully not, but I like Discover. I like some of the random effects. So hopefully there will still be some of those.
They're fun because they let you bash your opponent on the head. You're like, have some fun here.
Yeah, with a randomly generated effect from something, and then that gives me another randomly generated effect. I like that stuff. So.
In terms for me with the reset, I kind of go with the flow. It's really going to depend on how they change their bucket systems. There's a lot of broken cards in Un'Goro, right, that people rely on. So making people uncomfortable, making players uncomfortable, getting used to like maybe a weaker board state or a different style of playing or a different style of drafting would be nice, because change is good for these type of game modes, right? Just making sure things move. But the issue with Un'Goro it's been so strong that it's just been the staple ever since it's come out. Like no matter what arena you're drafting, you have Un'Goro cards in there because they're just so good. You're gonna take them. So hopefully having like a different style of gameplay, maybe new strategies pop up with the new cards, that'll be interesting to see. I don't really think it's gonna affect people's styles, right? Like aggressive players are still going to play aggressive, control players I'm still going to be control,
yeah,
like I don't know if there are other control players, but I will do
control players,
tons,
but it will be interesting to see the new changes, for sure.
Yeah, it's so amazing how the cards that you guys are talking about are not cards that are played and constructed. A lot of them aren't, right? Yet all the DKs from a standard standpoint you guys don't play, so it just speaks to how powerful.
It's not that we don't want to play them.
I know, but you guys just never get it.
We tried that. It was
horrible. Actually, I agree. We don't want to play them.
Oh yeah, it's like super auto picks and whatnot. But
they started out there and it was
like,
you can't beat Frost. It's very you just don't beat Frost's Jaina. They drop it and you're like, well,
you just you got thought steal it. You see, Sammy? I mean,
so you play Mage versus Mage, even though you didn't start with Mage. Yeah, basically. No, but it just speaks to how powerful, just thoroughly powerful, each of these expansions were like in this last year. So definitely excited for that. Okay, maybe a couple more questions. Do you think there will be any? So Zuprido asks, do you think there will be any chance of Arena actually getting more of a spotlight in the future?
It is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gotten the most attention it's ever gotten. Like in the last.
It depends on what you mean, right? Yeah. Like it's never going to be like
it's not HCT. Like right. Arena's
not. Of course not.
Yet.
Yes. Oh, Collins.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think we're definitely seeing more attention to it, and that that's great. Like just some tournaments coming up. And again, I don't think any of these tournaments are really going to say this person is the best, but it will show people that are good, and competition's fun. Hopefully the viewership for the tournaments will be good.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's great to see.
I'd love to see, I mean, this isn't like necessarily broadcast friendly. I don't know. Maybe you could just get like overall a lot of viewers, but I just want to see like one of those kind of old school Magic events. I wasn't a Magic player, but just kind of what I'm hearing about, or even just like a DreamHack. You just go there and there's like huge events for each of the formats, and then all the players kind of go there, kind of like what you see right now with, the standard, and having, just all the players play against each other, kind of like that. It'd be great if there was like some type of arena event that was like that, where all the arena players would have to go to. And
how hard would it be to have some arena component in some way at BlizzCon?
Yeah,
something, right? It's not.
They could use anything, dude, right now.
Just figure out, I don't know, some kind of a qualifier, or some, maybe the leaderboard actually means something each month, or because I think
that I'd have to try. I don't bother with the leaderboard.
I mean, it hasn't mattered for a lot for.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't have to be a accumulating thing. It could just even be just this big event. Like kind of like these 20 teams or whatever. Just have all the I don't know, even just all the notable arena players coming together and just having just this big tournament at the same time as like a standard thing. Like you literally would have all the
the player base.
Yeah, you have the best players, and you'd have like the very notable players all there at once, and
I would love that.
Thing. Yeah, that'd be awesome if we could do something like that. But arena, like you guys said, it's not going to ever be the main format that they choose. At least I don't think so. Okay, one last thing.
Just one like this. So for the tournament, what happens when opponents start to concede and sabotage on purpose?
Oh, okay.
So I mean, this is just going to be an issue with the rivals event. Like, if everyone's playing at the same time, there's going to be a lot of snipers, and there's going to be griefers on both sides. Like,
I never realized how easy, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have people
I didn't even think about that.
Their favorite streamers.
Right.
You're gonna have people roping out turns.
Oh, that's
don't give them ideas, man.
I mean, I don't need to do. People will do this, and it's just going to be an unfortunate part of it. You can't really avoid it. There's some steps you can do to try to mitigate a bit of it. You can stream a delay, etc.
Or change your
name, your user.
Well, you're supposed to play in your main account though, Collins, for it.
Huh? You have to use your main account.
Yeah, but anyways, like the point is, it's just that's going to be an issue.
It's going to be an environment, and it's not completely fair. Like it's not going to be fair across the board. But
there's not much you can do about it. I would just say it's going to be an issue. People are probably going to be upset about it on either side, but hopefully it doesn't become a dominating, factor for the tournament.
Well, do you guys have to play on delay? Because if you guys have to play on delay, then it's going to be hard to stream snipe you guys. Like
I haven't looked into that yet. Mm-hmm. I mean, you might need to. I should.
I remember playing the Gold Rush. I didn't play with a delay until the last day. And boy, was it a lot easier. So it's probably recommended for sure.
Yeah. Okay, hopefully they'll do that. Just so, I mean, it just at least will even the playing field a bit more. It won't be as fair for, I think the popular streamers and whatnot will have more people trying to help them in some way.
Right. That's going to be a real, it is what it is, right? I'm just glad, we have something and maybe, I don't know if there's any way to punish people that are doing it. If Blizzard can help out with, saying this is not okay, and there's some way to punish people, but I don't think it's going to happen.
There's always going to be people trying to screw things up. That's just Twitch for you. Munchkin asks, with this recent issues of loot boxes and gambling mechanics, do you think Hearthstone has similar issues? No, I think you're referring to the whole Jake Paul thing, right? No, I don't think that's an issue. I mean, we don't have loot boxes. Like we have we have
the Jake Paul thing, but the Counter-Strike was a huge thing for a long time.
Yeah, but the Jake Paul thing recently brought up this like website he was promoting.
Right. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. I was like, what are you talking about?
No, we already did this. There was a huge thing with this in Counter-Strike like couple of years ago.
Yeah.
We're never doing it again.
Yeah, people. people just do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's like websites that's like all they're doing, and you can buy like a box that only has Apple products or a box that only gives you shoes, and you're buying them for like $100. You're not like, you're definitely putting a lot into it.
People.
Yeah, and then you can sell it immediately if you don't want it, and sell it in the credit. And,
I'm multi familiar with the stuff.
Yeah, it's a crazy issue. It's like, I mean, just that sort of mechanic that'll but Hearthstone doesn't have that mechanic and like at all. So
it's because that the cards you get are yours, so there is no
secondary market or anything.
Yeah. Okay, actually maybe one more. Unreal asked what kind of arena event you guys like to see. Well, we know what Collins would like to see.
Honestly,
we know what he would like to see.
It's pretty good. I thought about it just now. Like dual arena co-op stream. I'd take it.
I mean, there was like I said before, the whole sealed tournament with the Red Bull thing. I think one of the very first one they did. I think one of the most compelling things that I remember about it is the players all sitting next to each other and able to help each other with plays.
Right.
And that was a very arena like environment because they didn't know each other's decks. Like it was that sort of thing.
Yeah, the one like caveat about this tournament, it doesn't really feel like you're utilizing the team aspect to the fullest extent, right? So I that's why I like kind of having to have the two screens and you can actually talk to each other and map out the plays. It actually feels like you're playing with a team and utilizing your teammate. Here it's just like pick a guy you like, or and crush together, crush individually.
I think more of a co-op, like an actual co-op tournament would be good.
Would be great.
Because like Collins would like to play with Shady and just play together.
I'd love that.
So I think here it's like it's a team, but team is in a very loose sense.
Yeah,
it's you're gonna be mostly doing it all on your own. So
it's just putting the best scores. Like you just pick another player you want their score, and pretty much.
Those I want your score.
Yeah. So I mean, it's. And I think there might be some interaction later, and there will be some interaction before and after with like strategy.
I guess if you get the first three, like if you get 36 right out of the bat, you can go and help your partner.
Right, then you go help them, and there's going to be a time where you finish your run, so you don't have time to do another one, and maybe you will hop on and help them out with the end of theirs.
Yeah,
but even then, I'm not sure if it's good because it might slow things down. So, but there will be strategy before and before the tournament, but that won't be really broadcasted as much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's probably kind of the biggest thing that I think is lacking in this tournament too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's a start.
I'm excited.
It's a start. Yeah. Maybe the next Twitch Rivals would be something like that. Because I think Twitch Rivals. Well, I think we'll see another 2 or 3 Twitch Rivals arena or just events, and they're probably going to be arena centric. I just can't imagine the standard centric one.
They're already standard like events. So
are there?
Boys have, so they're fun.
Well, this is for Twitch, though, right, Collins? Like
that's true. That's
not
maybe there'll be wild. It might be wild mixed with arena. Yeah, that's true. What Unreal said there. But okay, well, I think we'll wrap up since you don't have any more questions. But great show. Collins, thanks for hopping on for the first time. Dreads, you're like
Collins, thanks for the backup, the arena backup here.
I got you.
I got you. Yeah, well, Dreads, you're becoming like a regular on this show. So thanks a lot for always providing the arena insight for us.
I enjoy talking about arena. I play it a lot, so it's fun to talk about.
Yeah, Collins, you want to do some shout outs before we take off?
Yes, Foreign Sticks. Well, I have to shout him out.
Okay.
Great to have you. Hope you're doing good. That's it. No one else. Okay, I'm good.
No team.
You want to shout yourself out?
Like nothing. Oh man,
it's irrelevant. Just Foreign Sticks.
Foreign Sticks.
Hope you're doing great. That's it.
Okay.
Well, I'm just going to shout out myself. So I am Dreads. I stream at twitch.tv/Dreads. Play a lot of arena. Make the leaderboard most months, and try to teach people how to play arena better, and focus on interaction while also having a good time. You can also find me on Twitter at Dreads Gaming, And also, I'm a streamer for Complexity, so shout out to them.
That's a proper shout.
There we go.
Or the company would be very, very proud of you for that. No, but I just wanted to give a shout out to you guys, both EducatedCollins and Dreads, for being on the show. All you guys for watching. Everybody that's been supporting the show all these years. Number 200. We're gonna go for 300 now. We'll see if we get there.
You got this, I believe.
So if you guys, keep supporting, really appreciate it. Again, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/valuetown. Big shout out to ZipRecruiter for sponsoring this episode as well. And you can find the show in the usual places on youtube.com/ChanmanV. We are going to have some change. I'm going to make a video just kind of explaining some changes. I'm kind of doing a swap with Streamer Showdown ChanmanV channels. So I've been meaning to do it for a long time, and finally we're going to be able to do it. So be on the lookout for that, because you might have to subscribe to the other channel just to make sure you get all the Valuetown channels later. But obviously, listeners, all the listeners these days, you can find it on iTunes as well as Spotify, and Google Play, and SoundCloud.com/ChanmanV. Just search for Valuetown, you'll find it all. But that's it, guys. Expect some really great episodes. Again, like, we're gonna try to have some developers on soon, so be on the lookout for that. Follow the show at ValuetownGG, and all these guys on their Twitters. Dreads is already, obviously plugged his already, but Collins is right there too. So that's going to be it, guys, for Valuetown this week. So for EducatedCollins, Dreads, and myself, ChanmanV, we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Can't find myself.